When it comes to the markets, we do see this sense that traders are kind of waiting for the next catalyst, right? The outperformance that we've seen when it comes to onshore stocks recently over offshore suggests that they're expecting something to come out of these political powwows.
That's right. We have the National People's Congress coming up starting March the 5th, so this upcoming weekend. The main thing that people are going to be watching out for is what is going to be the GDP target that China sets for 2023. We know that officials have been debating whether to put that market about 5%. That would be substantially faster than China grew last year, which was 3%. And it would suggest that Beijing is getting ready to provide more stimulus, more pro-growth policies. And so I think the market is waiting to see if that comes to fruition. I think more importantly, we do have a new government coming in. This NPC will mark the end of the 5-year term for the last government. We should get a new premier. Most widely expected is Li Qiang, who used to be the party chief of Shanghai, is expected to take over the premiership from Li Keqiang. And the question is, what is he going to do with the economy now that he's in charge of making sure there's growth, making sure there's jobs, and how strongly will he act to try to get the country to that mark?
Yeah, what are we expecting from the new leadership in terms of focus when it comes to economic growth? We are getting Deloitte's chief China economist in just a few minutes, and in his notes, he really makes a point that the measures need to be more targeted.
Well, I think looking forward into the economic situation China faces in 2023, you see already in the first 2 months, based on the data that we've had, consumption has recovered more quickly than the industrial sector, specifically more quickly than exports. With the economic situation in the U.S. and Europe, into the latter part of this year looking a little bit uncertain. I think there will be more done by the government here in Beijing to spur consumption domestically, to try and make that a really strong leg for the economy to stand on and for jobs to be grown around.
The target as to what the next crackdown is always one of these elements of speculation when it comes to doing business and investing in China, right? We heard that apparently the China Renaissance Holdings chairman Bao Fan is cooperating in an unspecified investigation by Chinese authorities. There was a lot of question marks over his whereabouts just a week ago. John, is this one of the things that remains something that's quite difficult for international investors certainly to deal with and to get transparency over?
I think the question in these instances is when a certain individual is taken in for investigation or taken in to help with an investigation, whether that is individual specific, whether it's something specific to that company or that person, or if it's an indication of a broader trend that the government is looking at an entire industry. With Baofeng's situation right now, it's a little unclear whether it's one or the other. And I think that's what's making the market nervous at the moment, is not being sure whether this is a blip and maybe company specific or person specific, or it means something bigger and broader is coming down the pike.